So, just a few things that I want to get out there. Anybody who's listening to my rants and whatever else you want to call it, when it comes to the Black Lives Matters movement, y'all had a nation behind your back. Everybody was wanting to stand with you. The reason why so many people are no longer doing that is because of some of the activists who turned the organization group into a terroristic group. Now, if anybody knows more about terroristic group than myself, please message whatever you like, so on and so forth. Because I myself am a veteran. And when the Black Lives Movement first started, and the police officers were not diligently doing their jobs correctly, I was trying to rally a lot of veterans to stand with y'all, to let your voices be heard. I was wanting veterans to stand in between y'all and the police force. That way then, with us defending you, the police force was going to hurt us instead of y'all. Then things decided to take the turn for the worse. Autonomous zones were factioned. That is creating chaos and terror, as we see now with the shootings and other things that are happening within the autonomous zone, because in there it's free will. And if that's the type of living situation that y'all want, you can count me out. That's definitely something that I will not stand behind, especially when it comes to ripping down memorials, burning sanctuaries, wanting to tear down white Jesus. I mean, really, get a life. And the reason why I say that, the white Jesuses are made out of concrete. It's kind of difficult to do detail paint on concrete, hence the reason why they are white. Now, if you can post me pictures of concrete statues that were detailedly painted, I'll take it. Show me the proof. I'm always a man that wants to be proven wrong, especially if I feel that I'm right. If somebody can prove me wrong, I will be a man and I will admit that I was wrong. I will gladly post a comment onto your page or onto your post and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Because that's me. That's who I am. Now, am I saying anything as far as white supremacy or anything like that? No, I'm not. Am I for white supremacy? No. That was the German regime. The German regime has since then fallen. But I also see the skewed part of when it comes to white privilege versus black privilege. And on this one, I stand with Candace Owens. The reason that I see the difference in a different way than everybody else, you see, when everybody talks about white privilege, I hear white collar. That's white privilege, is white collar. I'm blue collar. I sit here and I bust my ass day in and day out to have the things that I have. White collar, That means your daddy was a dentist, a lawyer, or a doctor. That means that you were able to finance your children's future. Not everybody is able to do this. If you want to talk about white privilege, man, I'm definitely the image of not white privilege. I grew up in a broken home just like many others. My parents had enough money to send one out of 3 of their kids to college. And they still messing up. That's besides the point. Then there's me. I had to fight for everything I had. I got hand-me-downs. If I wanted something brand new, guess what? My father said, get out and get a job. If I wanted to make something for myself, my father told me, get out and do something about it. Don't sit here and ask for handouts. It ain't gonna happen. Not in this household. I went and joined the military at the age of 18. Best thing that ever happened for me. I joined the Marine Corps. Best thing it was for me. And I'm not going to say it's the best thing for everybody, but it was the best thing for me. Why? I put myself through college. I became a nurse. Well, I'm a man. Woman field, get a relationship, things don't work out. Got into a different profession. It happens. I'm still busting my ass. I'm still making my bread. I'm still getting the things that I want. And I'm not getting handouts. I'm not having somebody else tell me with what they think I need to become to make something for myself as far as a name. I never got that because that's blue collar. Blue collar has no privileges. Blue collar, you are a worker, and you are a worker until you're done. Are there some kids out there that, yeah, they get a little bit more treatment than others? Absolutely. I still can't call that white collar. I mean, hell, if I was a nerd getting straight A's and a 4 point freaking O GPA average, yeah, damn right I'd be going for a scholarship. But I'm not a nerd. I am myself. And with where I'm at today, I can't say I couldn't be any happier. The difference is we need to get real with ourselves. We need to stop living in the moment that we're living in because obviously it's not working. Nothing is working for us. Everybody says, yeah, stand together, unite. You know what, though? We don't want to. We all have our own viewpoints. We all have our own political viewpoints. That's why, for me, like one of the best things that I've ever heard in my life, you ain't normal. You got issues. You're psycho. Okay? If I'm not normal and I'm psychotic, well, how about you explain to me what normal is? Because I have the identity of a normal person. Now, not me personally, no. I am definitely abnormal. And I'll tell you who the personality type of a normal person is. Somebody who doesn't have a personality. That's normal. That's why we're all different. We're all abnormal. We're all fucked up. Guaranteed to the T. And this is why things happen the way that they do. Because everybody's got their own political viewpoint. They have their own agenda. They have this, they have that, they have this, they have that. Where does it end? Political parties are against political parties. Why? Sit down, conversate, and fucking learn something from each other. You might actually realize that the person that you think is a racist socialism actually has the same ideas and principles as you, but wants to go about them in a little bit of a different way. It happens. It's the truth. The problem is nobody wants to sit down and fucking talk about it. Everybody wants to be up and or and show their arms. That's all it's about these days. Nobody wants to sit down and talk. I mean, hell, I just watched a video where there was a guy that was walking through one of the autonomous zones carrying an American flag, wearing Make America Great Again hat and a Trump t-shirt. And all that he got was hell and reprise for being there. Why? Sit down and talk with the man. Find out why he's doing with what he's doing. And then if he ignores you, well then fine. Let him be. Because here's the reason. That right there is somebody who's looking for a rise. Let them. Because as long as they ain't going to get it, they're going to move on. Plain and simple. But when you're in a group and you have your own political agenda, seriously, stop and really sit down with the people in that group and find out what their viewpoints are. And if they say yours, that's fear. They're afraid that you're gonna attack them. If it's, I'm the same as you, I have the same belief as you, I'm here because of you, that's fear. And if that's what you want to prey on, you want to prey on that fear, well, then you're a part of that terroristic group. You're a part of the group that I don't want to stand for. I want to stand for people who want to be civil, discuss things, talk things out, have a mind. Hell, at least have half of a mind. Because half of a mind, we can turn that shit whole. But when you ain't got a mind because you're a robot, what's the point? Then this shit's never gonna end. Every 4 years we're gonna be in chaos because everybody's got political views that they want to put out there, but because your views aren't like mine, I'm gonna be in an uproar. Bullshit. That's stupid. If you want to have a conversation with me, I will definitely have a conversation with you. And I will not badmouth. I will not trash talk, nor will I put down. Why? Because I'm generally a loving human being. And that's how we all need to be. The people that are yelling Trump supporters are racist and Trump supporters are that, well, you know, there's an old saying to that. I guess it takes a racist to know a racist. Right? So, don't call the kettle black just yet. Y'all need to start getting ahead of yourselves. Using your mind. And I'm not telling you need to put a filter in between the two. I'm just saying really think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Because if I'm going to have a conversation politically with somebody, there's not something that you're going to come off with and tell me that I'm going to get offended. It's political. I'm not supposed to get offended. You're not going to offend me. Now, I may offend you, but that's because our mindsets are different. And I'm not trying to belittle anybody with that one either. Because we all know that some people try walking on eggshells not to offend the other person. And then the other person is going to say with what's on their mind. And somebody's going to take it offensively. And 9 times out of 10, it's really not meant offensively. Unless you use racial slurs. You talk about somebody in a derogatory manner. Or you're trying to break somebody down. Those 3 things right there, definitely offensive. But if I was to say that I'm a Trump supporter, then why automatically come at me with the hate saying that I'm a racist? Why don't we sit down and discuss why I would be a Trump supporter? Maybe not saying that I'm going to change your viewpoint of your party. And same thing goes for, a Republican. Just because I got a different viewpoint than you doesn't mean that I need to be bashed. Nor does it mean that I need to bash you. This is where we get that start. When we start conversating about our political views and we get things out on the table and we can get things right between us, now we own the government. Because I don't know like anybody else. I didn't want Obamacare, nor did I have a chance to even vote on Obamacare. This is why I'm doing this now, because I'm trying to put it out there to let y'all know. Republican, Democrats, Independents, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, we don't have a voice. Nobody has a voice. This is why Black Lives Matter, their movement, they had a voice. But because of political agenda, it took a turn for the worse. So really sit down and think about it. Why are you standing for the Black Lives Matter movement when it's all about defacing and causing havoc? Again, that's not a group that I would want to stand behind. Now, if they kind of kick Shaun King out of the mess and they bring things back to the way that they were, you're damn right I'm going to be standing right there behind you. Because Shaun King is the downfall of Black Lives Matter movement. And there's a lot of people in Black Lives Matter that will agree with me that he is the fall of the movement. And again, I'm not going against anybody's race. I'm not going against anybody's religion. I'm just speaking it like I see it. I'm here for the American people. Notice I said American people. It's your right to hate the country. It's your right to do whatever you want with our American flag. Why? I fought for that right. I can't speak against that right. Anybody who's in the military speaks against that right, you fought for that person to have that right of opinion. You can't exactly step in on that. I mean, you can if you want to, but if you ask me, you're kind of in the wrong. Because we all know as military men and women, we kind of gave up our rights for the 4 years, 8 years, 20 years that we went into service. I mean, think about it. We were treated worse than people in prison. Why? Because we didn't have no rights. Technically, we really didn't. I mean, when the voting came up, I wasn't even told to go vote. Shows you how much of a right that I had. But when it comes down to it, if it goes back to the way that it was, where everybody's wanting to speak their mind, get things off their chest, I'm all for it. Let's do it. But the way things are going now, unpeacefully, if you ask me, nah, that's wrong. And it's been said in the past. Doing it like this only makes matters worse for your voice. It doesn't make it better. And like I said, one of the biggest political parties that are really against our voice, I feel, is the Democratic Party. I mean, think about it. Who else wanted Obamacare? I know a lot of Democrats that were against Obamacare. It still got passed. Why? Because we don't have a voice. We ain't got nothing to speak on. Nobody wants to hear us. It's all political agenda now. This way then Obama can turn around and say, this is what I did for the American people. Let me ask you this question. When your insurance was raised on that, and you had to drop the insurance company, and then you had to pay the $90 that you couldn't cover for those months, where did it go? Whose pocket did that $90 go into? Because I bet you anything it was a 50-50 split between Obama and the insurance company. That way, Obama, he's able to be out, and he was looking for a long time to be collecting everybody's pennies after the fact. And that's his last gotcha. But nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody would believe it. I'm telling you now. I wouldn't doubt if that was a fact. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. And Joe Biden running for president? I'm not even going to speak on that one. Because, I mean, I'm sorry. That him and Bernie, they're both too old. They really need to have somebody younger. I mean, really, they do. You know, like Obama was only the perfect age. He really was. He was young. He had the spunk. He had the charisma. He had the attitude. He had everything that everybody wanted. But he had a lot of lies. He didn't follow through with his promises. So, again, when it really comes down to it, what do y'all want to do? Do you want to keep the chaos going? Or are we going to sit down in a coffee shop, pass the time, and have a conversation about our political views? And to tell each other, you're probably going to get offended, but I honestly mean nothing by it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, trying to give a good example without actually being offensive. You're white trash because of your belief. To me, that's a racial remark. Is that wrong of me? Absolutely. But that's something that I would never look at somebody and say. I would say, really? Explain to me why your political view is that way. I want to hear your side. Never know. I might get converted. That's the whole point of talking about the political views, is you're able to convert somebody to your side. But when you have this divide and conquer mentality that's going on today, that ain't going to happen. That's not going to cut it. All that's going to do is drive a wedge right down the center of us, and it's going to keep us apart. This is another reason why a lot of Black Lives Matter movement people are actually kind of withering away and staying out into the shadows and waiting for things to calm down to bring it back up again. But at the moment, they don't want a whole lot to do with it. And I can't say I don't blame them. I don't want anything to do with it either. Because it's a terrorist faction. And until it gets dismantled, drops, changes, something needs to give. Because this isn't working. It's really not. In order to divide and conquer, we kind of need to make our own agendas with each other. I'm not saying to make a pack or anything like that. No, I'm saying to basically sit down and talk about our viewpoints. Because the more that we talk, trust me, the more civil things are going to become. And that's when the government's going to get scared, because then it's, oh shit. They're talking to each other. There's no more divide. Because once when we all come together with a voice, that's when the government knows we done fucked up. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. And we need to keep that going. Once when it happens. I mean, think about it. 9/11. Everybody came together. There was no race. There was no creed. There was no white privilege, black privilege. None of that mattered. Everybody was united because of what had happened. Why does it take something that tragic for us to come together? Seriously, why? Why can't we come together now the way that we are and be together? Because honestly, I 2001, hands down, other than the tragedy, 2001 and 2002, I gotta say those were probably the best years. The ending of 01, the beginning of 02. Everybody was happy. You could walk down the street, you could say, "Hey, how you doing?" and you'd get a response back. Now it's, "Hey, how you doing?" Why? What changed? Seriously. So, if you want to conversate, definitely leave me a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, I'm a blue collar man, so I can't guarantee when I'm going to get back. I mean, hell, I'm making this video at 10:30 at night, going into 11 o'clock, and I got to be up at 6:30 in the morning for work. So, you know, I'll do my best to get back to y'all as soon as I can. But again, drop me a comment and we'll chat. But if it's something with hate, I'm not going to touch it. Seriously, I'm not going to touch it. I'll leave it there for other people to say it. And the only thing I can say to anybody else that views this message, don't comment on the hate messages. They're looking for a rise. Let them search. Because once when they don't get it, guess what? Just like a bully, they walk away.